This guy has to fight against the fattest boxer in the world, and the only weapons he has are sharp claws. It's the movie X-Men Origins, Wolverine. Let's go! This story begins in 1845. A boy named James is sick. He is the son of a local landowner. To make sure the boy is not lonely, Victor pays him a visit. He is the son of the local gardener. The gardener himself is drunk and enraged today. James's father decides to stop him. Gunshots ring out. The boys rush towards the sound, but it's too late. James's father lies breathless. His wife is sobbing. Little James becomes so infuriated that he activates the X gene. Instead of listening to the gardener, the boy lunges at the man and stabs him with the huge claws. In the last seconds of his life, the gardener declares that he had an affair with James's mother. He is the boy's true father. In one terrifying night, James Howlett has lost two fathers at once, but he gained a brother. The mother calls her son a monster and sends him away. Victor also leaves the house. He didn't love his father and he doesn't grieve for him. But now, Victor is going to take care of his brother. James Howlett becomes a criminal and takes his biological father's last name. From now on, he's Logan. The gardener wasn't lying. The brothers grow up and we see that they share the same genetic mutation. They're strong, fast, have animal reflexes, and of course, they can grow huge bone claws. But most importantly, they can't be harmed even with a cannonball. Thanks to the regeneration, the brothers don't age. Their lives consist of permanent warfare. Logan witnesses Victor gradually becoming more and more cruel. In Vietnam, the older brother turns into a real monster. He and Logan are sentenced to death by firing squad for a war crime. Needless to say, the brothers survive. But now everyone knows they're mutants. All of a sudden, Major William Stryker arrives in their unit. This man is not afraid of mutants. He offers the brothers to join his team and serve their country. Obviously, they agree. And here comes Stryker's team. The first person we see is Wade Wilson and his katanas. I'm sure Marvel fans recognize this guy. This is the future Deadpool, and he keeps talking all the time. The plane lands in Lagos. The mutants break into a Nigerian mafia base. The boss is protected by an entire army, but it doesn't save him. The thing is, Wilson is incredibly fast. It takes a few seconds for this guy to deal with dozens of armed men. Stryker remarks he would be the perfect soldier if he didn't have that mouth on him. The mafia boss thinks Stryker wants diamonds, but that's not the case. The team is looking for something more valuable. The mob boss redirects them to a small village. That's where their objective, a meteorite fragment, is located. Alas, the villagers are reluctant to give up their treasure to the strangers. Stryker is angry and orders the destruction of the village. Victor immediately carries out the order. However, Logan is adamantly opposed. He stops his brother and announces that he is leaving the team. Before walking away, he throws his dog tags on the ground. 6 years later, Logan is finally enjoying life instead of fighting. He's found his treasure, and it's not a precious meteorite, but the beautiful Kayla. During this time, Stryker's team has fallen apart. We see a guy who used to control military aircraft with his mind. Now, he's performing light bulb tricks at a carnival. Victor pays the poor guy a visit, which makes him terrified. We see all the light bulbs in the neighborhood go out. Meanwhile, Logan wakes up screaming. He's tormented by dreams of war. Stryker arrives at a sawmill where the protagonist works. He reports that someone is hunting the former members of the team. Swordsman Wade was the first to disappear. The second was the technopath. Stryker asks Logan to return to duty because he may be next. The mutant disagrees. After this conversation, Logan returns home. On the road, he gets into a quarrel with drivers who are blocking his way. To keep Logan from starting a fight, Kayla intervenes. A few touches, a nice smile, and the angry men surrender to her charm. The fight is over. At home, Kayla tells Logan the legend of the moon and the Wolverine. According to the legend, they are spirits who are in love with each other. But Wolverine was tricked into leaving the sky. Now he howls every night longing for his beloved. The next day, Kayla's car is stopped by Victor. Logan's at work. There, he notices familiar claw marks on the trees. He rushes to find Kayla, but it's too late. Her car is slashed with claws, and the girl is lying nearby with no signs of life. A furious Logan finds Victor in a bar. The only question bothering him is why? Turns out Victor has a grudge against his brother. He ran away trading their shared fighting glory for some woman. The mutants are fighting. Logan has lost his skills, so Victor easily defeats him. Before leaving, the older brother breaks the youngest one's claws. Logan regains consciousness in a hospital. Upon seeing Stryker, the mutant becomes enraged. The Major assures he didn't know that it was Victor who was hunting the team members. Looks like he's finally turned into a beast. Is there anyone who can stop him? Right now, Logan is too weak for that. Fortunately, Stryker can increase his chances of survival. Logan doesn't want to return to the service, but it's the only way to avenge Kayla. Logan accepts Stryker's offer. At a secret military base, he is being prepared for the operation. The Major tells him about the meteorite his team searched for years ago. The meteorite was found. They extracted an incredibly strong extraterrestrial metal from it, adamantium. Stryker dreams of creating a super soldier whose bones will be reinforced with adamantium. But only a mutant with regeneration can survive this operation. Logan is back on duty, so he gets his dog tags back. The mutant refuses and asks for new ones. The name Wolverine is embossed on them. This is how Logan decides to keep the memory of his beloved alive. Wolverine is immersed in a tank of liquid and injected with a molten adamantium. The anesthesia doesn't work on him and his heart stops. Is the experiment a failure? No, it's not. The metal cools and the protagonist regains his pulse. Stryker is triumphant. He tells his assistant, Agent Zero, that the experiment is a success. They don't need Wolverine anymore. All they need is his DNA. Except Wolverine has already recovered enough to hear this conversation. Adamantium claws emerge from his fists. Wolverine jumps out of the pool. Gunmen open fire, but he manages to escape from the lab. A naked Logan runs through the woods and hides in a local barn. The owners of the barn are common elderly people. Logan doesn't tell them what happened to him. Out of pity, they feed the stranger, give him their son's clothes, and even offer to take his motorcycle. Alas, being kind is life-threatening. Shots ring out. It's Agent Zero. Having dealt with the elderly, he launches a missile from a helicopter and destroys the barn. Logan manages to evade the explosion on his motorbike. After getting adamantium in addition to regeneration, the protagonist has become unstoppable. Wolverine slashes armored vehicles with his claws and then chops up helicopter blades. Zero survives the crash, but he can't survive the encounter with Logan. In the meantime, a scientist informs Stryker that the only way to stop Logan is an adamantium bullet. Stryker's management is horrified. He spent $500 million, created a superweapon, and now that superweapon has rebelled against him. But they're wrong. In fact, Stryker hasn't finished his project yet. He needs the help of a particular person. This is a boy suffering from migraines at school, who doesn't know what the near future holds for him. Logan finds his former teammate. The man is unaware of Stryker's plans, but leads Logan to someone who might know. It's a very fat guy named Fred. He refuses to talk to Logan, but he doesn't mind a fight. Wolverine has to literally beat the information out of Fred in the boxing ring. Fighting against that huge guy is not so easy. Fortunately, Logan has the ability to regenerate and sharp claws. The fat man loses and reveals that Victor and Stryker work together. They capture mutants and take them to some island. There, Stryker uses their DNA to create one mutant with different abilities. So, where is this island located? Only Gambit knows that. He is the only one who was caught by Stryker but managed to escape. While Logan is searching for information, his brother is hunting for another target. He looks like an ordinary high school student. However, when Victor lunges at him, an unexpected thing happens. We realize that this youngster is Cyclops. Meanwhile, Logan is looking for a mutant who managed to escape from the island. They meet at a casino. Wolverine is not welcome there at all. Gambit sees familiar dog tags and decides that the protagonist works for Stryker. Logan has to engage in another fight. He defeats Gambit and explains to the guy that they have a common enemy, and he'll defeat that enemy if Gambit gets him to the island. And here's the island itself. This is where they create Weapon 11, a mutant that will combine the powers of 11 other mutants. Using him, Stryker wants to protect humanity from people with superpowers. Gambit brings Logan to the island. There, the Weapon 11 project is almost completed. That's the former Wade Wilson. They finally silenced him. Stryker sewed up his mouth, turned him into a mindless puppet, and named him Deadpool. Logan breaks into the base. There he finds not only his ex-bosses, but also his ex-girlfriend. Kayla is alive. Moreover, she is a mutant who can control people's behavior. All it takes is a single touch. That's how Kayla stopped the brawlers at the beginning of the movie, thanks to Gene X, not female charm. The tragedy that befell her was staged. Kayla had been working for Stryker all the time. He knew that Logan would return to duty if he broke his heart and turned him into a vengeance machine. And now, Logan is indeed heartbroken. He walks away. And we learn that Stryker leveraged his sidekicks to keep them loyal. He promised Kayla he'd release her mutant sister. Victor was promised adamantium to make him as invulnerable as his brother. Except Stryker isn't going to keep his word. Victor is furious. He attacks Kayla. Logan returns because of her screaming, since he still hasn't fallen out of love with her. Wolverine fights against his brother, and thanks to his rage and adamantium claws, he wins this time. At Kayla's request, he sets her sister and the other mutants free. Stryker is panicking. He activates his Weapon 11. Logan distracts Wade so that Kayla can get the mutants out of the base. Stryker orders his soldiers to open fire. At one point, the girl says goodbye to her sister and asks her to run away with the other mutants. The thing is that Kayla was hit by one of the bullets. Logan engages in a fight with Wade, but how is he supposed to defeat someone who can regenerate, teleport, burn the enemy with lasers, and use a bunch of other superpowers? All of a sudden, Logan's brother comes to his rescue. Together with Victor, they defeat Wade with great difficulty. At the last second of his life, he destroys everything with Cyclops' beams. Logan is about to be crushed by the debris, but Gambit rescues him just in time. The base is destroyed. Logan tries to carry a still-alive Kayla away. Stryker catches up with them. He shoots Logan with several adamantium bullets. The last one hits the mutant in the head. The Major wants to deal with the girl as well, but suddenly he points the gun at himself. Turns out Kayla managed to touch his leg. She gives Stryker one last order. Walk away until his feet bleed, and then keep walking. The Major leaves. Professor Charles Xavier arrives to pick up the mutants who escaped from the lab. He takes them to his school. Gambit finds Logan, but the latter doesn't recognize him. Moreover, he sees Kayla's body but doesn't remember who she is. The wound in Logan's head has healed, but all his memories are gone.